Hey everybody, it's Saturday. Welcome to the weekend abbreviated version of Daily Distinction. I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for taking time on your Saturday to join me for a few minutes. We're getting some work done here over the weekend. It's a good time when not as much email, phone in ringing. Do you do that? And during this time of whatever this is, it seems like it's a little bit easier to get some things done. It seems like we're playing a little bit during the day, so might be working a little bit more on the weekend. It's all good. I hope you're having a great Saturday. Charles, always great to see you. Happy Saturday to you as well. Glad that you are here. Glad that you're along. Ernest is here. Hello, Ernest. Great to see you. Thanks for your messages. I appreciate it. Hey, Ernest, you beat me to the punch. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody that shares this. That's how more folks get to know about it. It's always a privilege, and it means the world to me when somebody will take a moment and share it. And so many of you have done that. And Ernest, you're at the top of the list. Great to see you. Bonnie, so good to see you as well. Hope things are good in Chicagoland today. My sister lives back in Indiana. Got a lot of family in Indiana. I have not checked to see how your weekend's going, how the weather's going. I know they were predicting some severe storms a 3 days ago, but don't know how your weekend is. Hope you're having a good one. And Brian, it's not a show till you're here. Why did Jeffrey Gittimer gave you high praise today on his morning message? Oh, I got to check that out. I did not know that, Brian. Wow, that's so nice. I sent him a note a couple days ago. Jennifer was walking the beach and checked in with her. And I got to tell you that the Tammy, my wife, and I, and Jennifer and Jeffrey, went out to breakfast. This has been a year or so ago, I guess, here in Vegas. And I'm telling you, when breakfast was over, my cheeks hurt. We laughed so much. So it was pretty cool. I'm glad to hear that. I'll check that out. That's very nice, Brian. I appreciate you passing that along. Randall, always great to see you. Thank you. Curtis, I never know where you're going to be. Holy cow, Dodge City, Kansas. That's fantastic. If you see Marshall Dillon, tell him hello for all of us, huh? Dodge City. And isn't it wild? We think about, you brought up an interesting memory. You think about the Wild West, right? Dodge City out in the West, and it was Kansas, right? I mean, today we don't think of Kansas being the West, but back then that was kind of the center point of the Wild West. Oh man. Well, that's great. That's really great. That's terrific. Jeffrey helped us get a lot of viewers on the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott. Oh, Pam, I was wondering about that. Shelly said it was going to be, Shelly's my sister, for those of you who don't know, said there was going to be some bad weather over the weekend, but I hadn't heard the update. So, I hate that. That is something. It is just a couple minutes past noon here in Vegas, 104 on its way to 107. Today. So I think it's 7 straight days we've broken the 100 mark. Hey, got a couple things before we get into what I wanted to talk about today, but these are really, really important things. We've got a bunch of new folks that are watching. And so if you're watching live or on the replay, and as you hear me say all the time, most of the folks that watch are on the replay. So thank you for watching on the replay. Thank you for sharing as well. Even if it's the replay, sharing isn't just for the live viewers. It starts to sharing isn't just for the live people. It's for the alternative is not a good option. Sharing is not just for the live viewers. It's for everybody. So thank you for sharing. And whether you're watching on the replay or whether you're watching live, we have so many new viewers. I want to remind you that you can get free resources at distinctionnation.com. There's a 14-day audio program that you can listen to align your priorities with your goals, with your daily activities to create personal distinction. There's a whole lot of material for you, and it's absolutely free, and it's available on Distinction Nation. It will not be up there forever, and I'll be talking more about that in the days and weeks to come. So if you'd like to get it absolutely free, now is the time to do it. So make certain that you go there. Also, I want to announce something. This is kind of like, do you have friends that are getting married and they send you like this save the date card? They don't even sometimes tell you, they might tell you the city that they're getting married in, but they might not even tell you what church they're getting married in. They might not even tell you where the reception is. Just save this date. And that's what I'm going to do today. I want you to save the date. And the good thing is you don't have to travel anywhere. The Ultimate Business Summit is coming August 13 and 14. The Ultimate Business Summit is coming the 13th and 14th of August. So it's a good thing if you just jot that down and save the date now. This year, for the first time, the Ultimate Business Summit is virtual. So you don't have to buy a ticket to Vegas. You don't have to get a hotel room. We're going to have a day and a half, almost 2 days, jam-packed with information. And there is one purpose of the Ultimate Business Summit this year. Here it is: more profit in changing times. That's it. How do you make more profit in changing times? Whether you're talking about your total business or whether you're talking about you individually, Randy Pennington, Larry Winget, and I are going to show you how to make more profit in changing times. And we have some incredible offers as a part of this. And by that, I mean special guests that are coming in, all kinds of things that are going on. And it's just going to be amazing. You can't even sign up for it now. The website has not gone live accepting signups yet. That'll be happening soon, and I'll let you know when it happens. But I just want to make sure this is the first time we put anything out there about it. So I want to make sure that if you're watching Daily Distinction, you were the first ones to know. Jot it down, August 13th and 14th. You're going to be amazed how low it is to attend. It is going to be a spectacular event. We have special guests that are joining us for this event that you are not going to want to miss. And I make my living with words, and it's hard to describe how excited I am about this year's Ultimate Business Summit. On kind of a sad note, this is going to be the last one of these that we do. It's not like Cher going on a farewell tour. We're not going to have 18 of them. This is the last year that we're doing the Ultimate Business Summit. So if it's one of those things that you ever wanted to attend, please put the dates on your calendar now, and more information will be coming shortly. But it is the Ultimate Business Summit virtual this year, the last one that we're going to do, and it is going to be August 13 and 14. So please get that down in your calendar. It's something that I know that you're going to want to attend. So Ultimate Business Summit coming then. All righty, let's catch up here for a second. What new book day is coming fast for the Pitbull? Yeah, Larry's got stuff coming. That's good. Hey, Brian, we'll be thrilled to have you there. Thank you, Curtis. Sounds great. Brian, I appreciate that. I'll get you all the information coming soon. And man, I know it sounds, I know I'm biased, right? Because I'm part of it. The folks that we've got coming in who are going to spend time with the participants, and we're going to be able to do, groups where we really get into deep discussions and work on how during this changing time you profit more. And our planning sessions have just been off the hook, and it's just really, really cool. Yeah, and Dwayne, it's just that we started out as the 5 friends, and then 2 of the guys, they were like, I'm into corporate work, not into this type of work. And what happens is, anytime you get more than one person, their drive in terms of how much time they want to spend and their goals with what they want to do. But hey, man, we're all great friends. And that's one of the things that kind of worried us about saying this is the last one. We didn't want anybody to think that there'd been anything happen to our friendship. We're all getting together after things settle down and travel gets easier to tip bourbon again with each other. So it has absolutely nothing to do with friendship, anything like that. It's just that everybody gets to decide, that it's, what they do. Yeah, Charles, I've got mixed emotions, but one of the things that's so cool is and we'll be revealing more as, everything gets locked in, and doing it virtually is new for us, but it's really, really an exciting time. I would be a lot sadder if it wasn't for the fact that I know that we're going out with a bang. I mean, it's going to be unreal. So excited about that. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, and that's about expectations. And I talked about it a little bit in another program. I had a couple of you write and wanted to know more about it. And the psychological phenomenon is that we don't get what we want. We encourage what we expect. As human beings, we desire that our expectations are fulfilled. Now, that sounds like a good thing, but our negative expectations can be fulfilled as well. I've told a story in some speeches, that I haven't golfed for like 2 years. But back when we lived in Indiana, we lived on a golf course, and I'd get out there quite a bit. And, I always shot between 95 and 100. If I'm really playing right, I'm really keeping score right, I would shoot between 95 and 100. So a buddy of mine is in, and we're playing golf and just having a great time. And I wasn't paying any attention to the score. And we make the turn, and I'd shot 43 on the front nine. And my buddy all of a sudden looks at you, man, you are killing it today. You are doing great. 43 and 43 is 86. I mean, that's 9 strokes better than my bet. Man, that's. And what do you think I shot on the back nine? And you would be right, because I ended up shooting a 97. And I've thought about that quite often in terms of what happened. Did my ability that day just go down, and the back nine of the course wasn't any dramatically different in terms of difficulty than the front nine? What happened? My expectations kicked in. There was that voice in my head thinking, holy cow, you're over your head today. You're not an 86 golfer. You're not a 91 golfer. You're a 95 to 100 golfer. And my play changed to match my expectations. So in other words, not only did I need to work on my golf game, I needed to work on my mental game, which is why there's so many people out there that talk about the mental game of golf, including my awesome friend, Dr. Rick Jensen, sports psychologist, talks about the importance. The reason the champions are the champions is not only because they play better, but because they think better than the competition. I haven't seen what's happened today, but did you see yesterday, Phil Mickelson, who just turned 50, is leading this weekend's golf tournament. At least he was at the close of play yesterday. And, he's beating guys out there that are 22, 23, 24 years old. Why? Because, and I've heard things that he may not be the nicest guy, but he's got his mental game together when it comes to golf. So we don't get what we want. We encourage what we expect. So where did this come from? Well, psychologist Robert Rosenthal created what he called the Pygmalion Effect. The Pygmalion Effect is the thought that it quantified that aspect, that we encourage those things that we expect. I put this up here. See where it says, got that on there? Yeah. On the far right, My Fair Lady. Did you know the movie My Fair Lady was based on that? The musical and the movie My Fair Lady is based on what we're talking about today. The Pygmalion Effect. That because the Rex Harrison character treated the Audrey Hepburn character as if she were a lady, she became one. And there's a book by George Bernard Shaw called Pygmalion, and then the musical writers Rodgers and Hammerstein came up with My Fair Lady, which was based on that thought. So that's what the Pygmalion Effect is. In other words, the definition is that increasing the leader's expectation of the follower's performance will result in better follower performance. I've told the story of the teachers that expect more of their students, and then their students get better. So increasing the leader's expectation of the follower's performance results in better follower performance. Except that as they studied it, they realized the reverse is true as well. Decreasing the leader's expectation of the follower's performance results in inferior follower performance. And we'll talk more about this in a minute, but it's kind of an interesting thing that, like me playing golf, when I expected less of myself, my performance got worse. What if instead I would have said, I have been wrong all along. I'm not a 95 to 100 golfer. I'm an 85 to 90 golfer. What if that would have been my thought, other than my expectations were right and I'm trying to fulfill them? So the important point for us to think about today is this: we lead ourselves. We do. We talk about other leaders, but the fact is we got to get our own act together first. We lead ourselves. I wonder if some of the challenges that we're seeing in terms of the things that we're seeing on video about police come with the expectation that a particular group or people in a particular neighborhood or folks behaving in a particular way, the expectation is that they must be causing trouble. And in defunding or doing any of that, I'm not trying to be political about this, but I'm trying to think about the psychological aspect of it here. What's going to change until we get people to change their expectations? They might just behave in the same way with less funding. We've got to think about, how do people change their expectation of what's happening in the world today. We've got to work on ourselves. Question back to UBS. How will you handle time zones? We are going to be doing it on the central time zone. So we figured that's not too awfully early for the West Coast, but it's not too late for the East Coast. So we're going to, in the past, we based our time on Pacific time because everybody came to Vegas. This year, we're going to be basing it on Central time because we're going to have people from all over the country. Yeah, I love that, Ernest. Skull practice. That's what we need. Some more skull practice. Yeah, it's similar to that as well. You bet. So meeting expectation. Good for you. That's great, Dwayne. Put in the hours. And there you go. We lead ourselves. We lead ourselves. As I was putting this together today, I was thinking of the verse from antiquity that says, "Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." And I was thinking about, lead us not into temptation. And I thought about if I'm a married guy, but if I go into a bar that's known as a pickup bar, who led me into temptation? Or if I go somewhere that is not representative of where I need to be, who led me into temptation? I led myself there, right? Nobody else did it for me. So we lead ourselves. So we have to be concerned about that. Okay, so what happens when our expectations are unfulfilled? Well, we either change our expectation. What I really meant was, what I really meant was, I'm not a 95 to 100 golfer. I'm a 92 to 94 golfer, right? We adjust, right? Just a little bit. We try to change our expectations, but again, that's like cheating at solitaire. Who does it matter? Why would you cheat at solitaire? It doesn't make you a winner, and it doesn't influence anybody when you do that. So don't do that. But also, what happens when our expectations are unfulfilled? Sometimes we fudge on them. But the other thing that we do is we seek someone else to blame. We do. It can't be our fault, because psychologically we're used to our expectations being fulfilled. So if something happens and our expectations are unfulfilled, then we seek often to blame others. The videos are everywhere of people going crazy in stores because they're told they can't go in the store if they don't wear a mask. Now, what I find amazing about that is that the people who are enforcing that are really not the people who made the law, right? They're not the people that made the regulation. They are required by their job. And I hate that they're being put in such situations, because when these people go crazy yelling at them and shouting at them, they're yelling and shouting at people that if they don't do that, they'll get fired. Why would you want to put somebody in a situation where they lose the job? At any rate, I think part of what's happened is, if our expectation has been, I have to wear a shirt and I have to wear shoes, but other than that, I can do what I want. Oh, well, now we're changing it. Now it's no shoes, no shirt, no mask, no service. Well, now, wait a minute. That's not my expectation. It must be your fault that my expectations are unfulfilled. When your expectations are unfulfilled, most of them, not all of us, probably not you, but many of us, let's put it that way, seek to blame somebody else. Because it can't be that our expectations are wrong. It's got to be that you're messing up with the delivery of my expectations. Let's be honest with ourselves. What do you expect? Where could you change your expectations? Whether it is how you golf, or your financial situation, or your business situation, or your family situations. Are there places where if you changed your expectation, something different would happen? And part of the reason I'm asking this too is if you have an expectation about another person and they are constantly falling short of your expectations, maybe it's time to change that expectation too. So what we have to do is to understand that when we change our expectations, we change your outcomes. We change your outcomes. And you can enhance and advance and improve your outcomes if you're willing to change your expectations. You know, if my expectation changes from I'm free and I don't have to wear a mask and I don't have to do this, they can't make me do anything, to I'm going to have to do what it takes to help keep more people safe. Doesn't mean I like it. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it. But it seems to be what's going on out there right now. I'm not trying to make this about masks. I'm not trying to make this political. Please don't misunderstand that. I'm just saying, I think that part of the anger that we're seeing in our society, part of the frustration that we're seeing in our culture is because not only are we being asked to change our behavior, we're being asked to change our expectations. And for almost all of us, that is a very difficult thing to do. But I do know this, when you change how you think, you change what you get. And if we can do that and take control of that, even if it's things we disagree with, even if it's things we don't like, we can change some of the outcomes as well. So that's our conversation for today. Man, I almost went the whole length of time. I get gabbing about this and I feel so passionate about it. I love talking about it. So honestly, take a look at your expectations. I don't mean about masks. I mean about life. I mean about your business, right? Good is the enemy of great. If you got good expectations, you got a good business, you got a good life, it is the enemy of having a great one, because you don't have great expectations, as Dickens said. You don't have greatness because you haven't expected greatness. How do we realign our expectations? And Charles, yeah, and you're right. And especially when we expect to be in control. You know, if the great influenza that happened in the tens, you know, in the first decade, 1914, 1960, you know, if that would have happened in the 60s and people would have been alive today that experienced that then, I think it'd been a lot easier, because we would have had people that had been through it. That's, you know, a lot of folks, well, my day our masks were heavier, now you're hard to breathe through, and you had to wear, you know, I mean, but we'd have personal examples of that. We would have been through it. And here in a situation where we feel like everything is out of control, and who do you trust and what do you believe in? You're exactly right. It's even more difficult. I hadn't thought of this before until you said this. It's even more difficult to set expectations when the situation is fluid, isn't it? When we aren't assured of outcomes, right? I mean, if I eat less and work out more, I have a reasonable expectation that I will lose weight, right? If I eat less, work out more, reasonable expectation. What's the reasonable expectation when it comes to this? Well, we hope that this will happen, but there's so much uncertainty out there. You're exactly right. And so what we need to do is to take control of what we can, and at least take some comfort in the fact and some control in the fact that at least I will do what I can. When we change our expectations, we can change our outcome, even when times are incredibly challenging, difficult. Hey, that does it for today's edition. I'll be back again tomorrow, same time, for another weekend edition of Daily Distinction. And hey, mark your calendar, as we said, for the dates of the Ultimate Business Summit, but also please tune in tomorrow. We've got the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. It comes up on every Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And it's always a fun time to get together with Ken Walls and Glenn Morshower and have fun there. So please join us tomorrow night at that time as well. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for listening. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow on the next Daily Distinction. It means the world to me that you take time to be here. I'll see you again tomorrow.